Okay. Hi, everyone. I am so excited. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the Hello Space Girl podcast. This is super exciting. My name is Brianna. I'm the host. And this podcast is supposed to be basically just like about me talking about um, the behind the scenes with like being a business owner and everything. Like, just for me to be able to get it out of my system, not necessarily for me to be like, I'm an expert on all things business. No, it's not like that. That and for me to talk about candle stuff, because like my small business is called Moonwax Galaxy, and I sell 100% soy candles and wax melts. And so, like, as someone who is a candle enjoyer, a candle fanatic, I also want to talk about like things when it comes to like candle making and stuff like that and being into candles, right? But since this is episode one, I just kind of want to sort of do an introduction for me and my business. So, again, my name's Brianna. I have my business called Moonwax Galaxy. It's where I sell candles and wax melts. It's all 100% soy. And the sort of twist, I guess, that I currently have for this business is the fact that, like, it's supposed to be, it's supposed to have a space theme, hence the whole like Moonwax Galaxy thing, right? Um, and I started this business with my friend. Her name is Kimberly. And I forget Kim's official title, so I'm so sorry about it, Kim. But essentially, like, I am the owner of the brand, while Kim is sort of like the person that is the ideas person that comes up with like a bunch of the scents and stuff like that. We started this in the middle of the pandemic. I believe it was 2021. I always forget if it's 2020 or 2021. It was in 2021. At the time, I was doing like a sort of like seasonal job that I didn't really like that much. But for the seasonal job, we kind of had this. It was it's very weird. It's a long story behind that. But like we had this assignment to basically like figure out how to make a sort of like tutorial that like other people could replicate, right? Because everybody was doing online learning. So like we were working with this program. And so they were like, as an example, like teach something, you could pick whatever you want. And I remember in the Zoom, the guy was like, candle making. He gave candle making as an example. And I was like, oh, I really already like candles, right? Like I was always super into candles, mostly for like aromatherapy reasons. So I was like, I'll just try it. So I went to Amazon and bought like a candle making kit, and it came with everything that I needed. It came with the wax, the scent, the little pot. It came with a couple jars and the wicks, and like it came with everything. So I was super excited, and honestly, it was a coincidence that Kim happened to call me. I think the day it came in, or like a couple days after I ordered it. I don't remember. Kim called me, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I'm doing," and she was like, "Can I like do it with you?" And I was like, sure. So our very first candle that we tried to make was called, I don't even think we gave it a name. It was supposed to be a strawberry candle. It was a strawberry candle. And the first time that we made it in my kitchen. And at the time we had I was in this very small apartment. It had to be like 700, 800 square feet. It was super small. Maybe not even that. Was it 600? I don't remember. Anyway, so we made these strawberry candles. And what I didn't know at the time was that you have to let them cure. So basically you have to like let them sit and like let the fragrance sort of bind with the wax. But we didn't do that. Me and Kim lit it pretty much like the next day, I think it was, or even like right after it solidified. And we were like, it doesn't smell like anything. And I was super depressed. So eventually we did like, we came back sometime later after I ordered some more strawberry scents, and we tried it again. And like I let it cure for like a week, and me and Kim lit them, and we were like, this smells so good. It filled up the entire house, the entire apartment. At least my entire apartment smelled like strawberries. And like I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy about this. It's great. And because the starter kit came with like, I think it was like it came with like 12 jars. I just like gave the extra jars out to like my family and stuff. And like literally everyone that I was giving a candle to was like, you could do this as a business, right? Like you should totally do this as a business. And I was like, I don't know. Only because at the time, like I did not consider myself as someone who would like start their own business, like I was definitely like, you have to have a certain type of like personality to do it, which I think is kind of true. But like my mind was more so on like, oh, you need to be extroverted. You need to be able to like really put yourself out there. You have to like sort of have that ambitious go-getter attitude. Like you have to work hard, play hard, right? Um and I was like, I'm just not that aggressive as a person. I feel like I'm very loud. I'm sorry. Like I am adjusting my volume as we speak. So I'm so sorry about the audio quality. I'm like, we'll iron out these kinks. But anyways, yeah, I just didn't necessarily think that I was the right person for that sort of thing, or like, I didn't have the right like personality for that kind of thing. So I was kind of like, yeah, okay. Um, but I tried it out. Um, I only really remember like me and Kim planning out. We were like, we're going to do this thing, right? Kim was on board. She was like, I want to do this with you. And I was like, sure. Okay. We'll figure this out. We literally planned out this business for like a year. Did it need to take that long? Not necessarily. And like there were like a lot of factors that played into why it took us a year, because it was in the middle of the pandemic, so like everything was shut down, and then I had to order some supplies which like have to wait on shipping which would take forever. And then like even talking to Kim, we had to like plan everything out that we wanted, and like we went through so many different changes. I know that at some point I had moved from one apartment to a bigger apartment, and it was a lot happening. um but eventually we finally sat down and we were like, what do we really want to do with the business? And so like we had all these different names that we wanted to do. We had like a list, and like I believe it was one of my other friends who is like the artist for us. She was like, well, why don't you basically just do like a space theme? Because I am the type of person that is super into like um zodiacs and stuff like that, and like all that stuff. um and so I was like, actually, why don't we? So we came up with the name. We came up with quite a few like space related names before we settled on like Moonwax, because I think my friend was like, well, why don't you try like waxing moon or something like that? And we were like, Moonwax. um which at first I believe it was just Moonwax. I don't know when Galaxy came along, because we said Moonwax candles at first. um and so we were like, we're gonna go with Moonwax candles. And I believe it changed when we started making the social media accounts, because I was like, okay, if we make the social media accounts, I want the to be like the username to be the same all across the board. That way, like it's easy to find us. And if someone's like, how do I find you? I'm just like, whatever platform you're on, just search Moonwax Galaxy, all lowercase, and you'll find us. So we went through different stuff. Like at first it was like Moonwax Universe, which I was like, that's too long. It's not going to work. And Kim randomly said Moonwax Galaxy. And I was like, it's brilliant. So now we're Moonwax Galaxy. But yeah, like pretty much like everything that we have is sort of like a space theme, right? And so like the since that we have names, so there's like Big Dipper, Little Dipper, Orion's Belt, yada yada yada. And like we even have like more um releases planned where like we want to do like a Zodiac release, which I feel like is pretty common. Like a lot of candle companies do Zodiacs. um but obviously like when we're like, yeah, we have a space theme, the expectation is that at some point we're going to do the Zodiacs. We're also going to do the planets um at some point. Zodiacs is kind of risky though, because like I heard through the grapevine that like someone trademarked all of the Zodiacs, and it's not like from the little that I understand about trademarks is that the the trademark is in the process of going through. It's not all the way through yet. But because it's registered and it hasn't, like, we have to wait for it to be approved or rejected, like, no one else can really use it. So, like, they have been going after people on Etsy. This company that, like, registered the trademark has been going after other companies on Etsy and stuff like that to, like, kind of go and have them take their zodiacs down. So it kind of sucks, but at some point we will have zodiacs and hopefully the planets, and then see how we feel after that. But yeah, that's how we got the name and some of the sense. And then, like, the logo, I'm pretty sure my friend was like, I'm going to she was going to make a logo for us, and the logo was pretty much like the idea behind the logo was just like, hey, we have a we have like a moon that's dripping because moon wax. So the moon is like dripping wax off of it. And I don't even know if I had the full color palette. I remember I talked to our artist and I was pretty much just like, yeah, I want I want it to be like a blue green color because that was one of my favorite colors. That a sort of like minty green slash like really light blue is my favorite color. And so, like, everything else was just like, well, what other colors can we use? And I don't necessarily know if I remember the story behind how we came up with our color palette, but like our main colors, I knew I wanted black. For whatever reason, I had it in my mind where I was like, I want black candle jars. Um, and like I really, really, really like the blue green. I don't remember how we got the pink. The pink is like a very like hot reddish pink. It's not, I don't know if like, it's not very like pastel light millennial pink, but like it's still a pink, pinkish red. And so like those two colors, like pretty much those three main colors, the black, the minty, and then the like pink red are brand colors. Isn't that crazy? Um, I had enough foresight during our 1 year planning phase where I was like, okay, we need to have brand colors where like these are the colors that is going to be associated with us. Um, just like most brands have like their set colors, whether it's one color or at least 2 to 3 colors that they pick that they're like, yes, right? Like McDonald's has the golden arches, the red and the yellow. And like, who else has iconic colors that I can think of? Walmart has the blue, Target's red, like stuff like that. When you think of a brand, you think of their colors. So I was like, okay, cool. This is cool. So like whenever like I give people my business card, it has those colors. Or even like decorating our pop-up table, it has those colors. Like, and I don't want to go into like a lot of detail, but I was definitely like, I want people to see these three colors next to each other and be able to be like, that's moonwax. And it definitely worked for our business cards. I think like we have our business cards and they look like really good. They look, I like the way that they came out. When I was designing them, I was worried that maybe it would look kind of like a cult because I made the cards like black and then there's like moons, the phases of the moons across the top. And I was like, if I hand this to someone, will they think I'm trying to invite them to a cult? I was a little bit worried about that, but it came out okay. It came out all right. And I think that's like, it was great. It's great. Like even people are like, oh, I love your tagline. Like our tagline is like aromas to launch your systems into orbit. Oh, it's so great. So like we have stuff like that. And like we just like work with what we have and it's lots of fun and we both enjoy it. Like I said, I'm probably gonna have like Kim in another episode to talk more about it. But like, yeah. And I guess I just want to make sure that I elaborate also of like the making of this business wasn't just like, oh, we're in the middle of the pandemic and like, I was trying to like find some way to make money, which disclaimer, if that's like your thing where you were in the pandemic and you started your business because you were like, I need money, I am not here to judge you. I'm the last person to judge you about something like that. And like, I totally understand. Um, but I also try to like make sure to explain to people when they ask like, why did you start this business anyway? I I don't want to like go into detail and like trauma dump on people. I went through a very traumatizing event when I was younger. Um, and one of the things, like when I was going through therapy and trying to heal from it, was sort of using aromatherapy. So, like, when I was dealing with like PTSD and like experiencing PTSD attacks or even like high levels of stress, I would sort of use candles, scented candles, to help me calm down. And so, like, that's what got me like really aggressively into candles. And like my mom has also always been into candles at the time. Like I remember there was a time where she was into candles and I like really didn't care. But then of course I got into candles. Um and that's like part of my motivator for like why I started this business, because I'm like, man, if candles can really like help me out so much with my mental health, I want to be able to like share that with other people, you know? And another big part of that was also just like pretty much like making it affordable for people, because like I know our candles aren't like $1, but also like I don't want to be like, here's a candle business, but also like our candles are like $80+. I don't really like, I'm not particularly interested in making like another luxury candle brand. I think that there are enough luxury candle brands out there. What I'm interested in is like having a good quality, like mid-tier affordable candles that are strong. Like my main concern and my main goal is the quality of the candle, making sure that the candle is strongly scented and will like fill up your whole house and fill up your whole room. But I also understand that there are like people out there who don't enjoy strongly scented candles because they're like, oh, it gives me a headache, or they have sensitive noses or whatever. So I totally get that as well. But like this, I was just like, this is what this is what I personally want when I light my candles. So like I share it with, you know, other people, and I just like seeing people's reaction in person when I'm at events and they open up the jar of candle and they smell it and they're like, you can see it all over their face where they're like, this smells good. Or even like mailing out candles to people, like, you know, different friends, but also customers and family members and stuff like that. And they open up the box and they're like, the second I opened this package, I just smelled the candle right away. And I was like, that just makes me so happy. Um, but yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm like super excited to like continue recording some episodes. Um, I know that like I can add a little jingle and stuff like that. So like we'll be like playing around with stuff. Also, this looks weird. There's a video option, but like you can see something sticking out behind my head, and I didn't realize like my chair, I have this gaming chair where like it has bunny ears on it. So like behind me, if you see like these white things sticking up, it's supposed to be one of the bunny ears. The other one was like bent back. See? The bunny ears. This one was like bent back on one side and the other one was sticking up. So it looked very strange, but yes. So that's really it, I think, for the setup or for the introductory like episode of this podcast. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for listening. And if you would like to, definitely check us out at moonwaxgalaxy.com. We are also on Etsy. We're also on TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We are everywhere. Pinterest, we have a Pinterest account. So like if you're interested in just like buying something, or not even buying something, like if you want to like a post, if you want to see our other candles and check us out, definitely do that. And I appreciate it so much if you do, because everything helps. Like, listen, I'm going to go on another tangent, but like literally, like I always thought it was so ridiculous whenever like any content creators, specifically YouTubers, were like this video, it helps with my engagement. But like seriously though, like, oh my God, ever since starting this business and trying to like upload content, anytime anyone like likes a post or comments on a post or whatever the case is, like it really does help get the video out to more people. So like even if you've never bought anything, and I talk about this all the time, even if you've never bought anything from us, if you've liked a post, if you shared a post to your friends, If you have commented on a post, thank you so much because it is hard out here in these internet streaks to get noticed. It is so hard. Oh my God. Like, people make it seem like it's so easy to just blow up overnight or like blow up on TikTok and be like, I have millions of followers now. I'm like, it's not like that for me. It is so hard. So thank you. I've rambled on long enough. Thank you for listening to this episode. Again, check us out, moonwaxgalaxy.com, Moonwax Galaxy on any other platform, all lowercase, no spaces. Thanks for listening. I will see you guys later.